Okay, you know how Israel's been losing the propaganda war really badly with like AI photos of Voldemort being shocked and horrified by the crimes of Hamas, or Israel like cartoonishly lying about them striking hospitals or whatever. Uh, this is this is a brand new one, man. You saw it, right? This one's an all-timer.
Tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people supporting by their demonstrations supporting Hamas. I want to show you something exclusive, Laura. So this...
That's right. Found this in Netanyahu's bedroom. No.
Is Adolf Hitler's book, translated to Arabic, Mein Kampf. It's the book that led to the Holocaust and the book that led to World War II. This is the book that led to his victory in elections in Germany, which led to the worst atrocity of humankind, which the British fought against. Well, this book was found just a few days ago in northern Gaza in a children's living room, which was turned into a military operation base of Hamas.
You think we're indiscriminately killing too many children? Well, we found this perfect, unmarred, undamaged Mein Kampf in a child's bedroom in, I assume he means bedroom, not living room, a child's bedroom in that's been turned into a Hamas base. It was specifically a child's bedroom, and that child's bedroom had been turned into a Hamas base. Like, the living room outside the bedroom was fine. It was that bedroom that was with... Yeah, just this newly published, clean, unmarred, looks like it was just printed, Mein Kampf, translated into Arabic in a child's bedroom. Incredible. Incredible.
On the body of one of the terrorists and murderers of Hamas, and he...
On the body, no less. So, like, this was like... for a Hamas militant who, by the way, only operates out of children's bedrooms, which is why Israel keeps striking them, okay? For a Hamas militant, keeping a copy of Mein Kampf on you is a little bit like when soldiers keep like a pocket Bible in their breast pocket in their fatigues, you know? Just like, yeah, we found this Hamas militant who we killed, presumably, because we looted his body. So this guy's dead. We found in one of his pockets just the entire... Mein Kampf. It was in his back jeans pocket.
Even marked. He wrote notes. He marked.
He wrote notes! With little post-it notes in the Gaza Strip. He's the Hamas guy in your average Gaza Strip child's bedroom. Like, yes, okay, that's it. Yeah, good idea. Making sure to write it on the notes and not on the book itself to not, like, mar the Mein Kampf they're writing in.
He marked and learned again and again Adolf Hitler's ideology of hating the Jews, of killing the Jews, of burning the Jews, of slaughtering the Jews. This is the real warrior act. So all those who demonstrated yesterday, I'm not saying that all of them support Hitler.
Oh, by the way, in case you were wondering who this guy is, this is the president of Israel. Netanyahu's the prime minister. This guy's the president. He's on a news show, and he's holding up a pristine copy of a translated Mein Kampf, explaining to a news host how they just found this in the back pocket of a Hamas militant who they found killed in a child's bedroom in the Gaza Strip.
But all I'm saying is,
with notes in it,
by omitting to understand what Hamas ideology is all about, they're basically supporting this ideology.
There will be many people who were on this.
The real tragedy is that because they killed the Hamas militant that was in the child's bedroom where they established the classic copyright child's bedroom Hamas base, the real tragedy is that they weren't there to actually see him, because that Hamas militant was in fact reading Mein Kampf and shaking his head every once in a while, like it's like the guys that you see on the subway stations where they're reading Mein Kampf and you're like, huh, and then they're like, and you're like, oh, okay, so he disapproves. Like the Hamas militant was doing that, but there's no way for us to see that now. Yeah, the one step up, I guess, in propaganda is that given how incompetent Israel has been at the propaganda war, I'm surprised that the front cover wasn't translated to Hebrew. To be fair, though, the Hamas charter is basically the protocols the elders die. Bro, First of all, the entire story is made up, so I don't need to justify any concept. This was all made up, completely fake, obviously, like transparently so. It's a joke. Also, like, I'm not denying Hamas are anti-Semitic, but do you think they need to go to Mein Kampf for that? You realize that, like, if they wanted to call upon bodies of anti-Semitic hate literature, they would do it from Arab sources, right? Or, like, just anything regional. Like, have you ever read passages from Mein Kampf? It's not exactly like a multicultural guide to anti-Semitism. It's pretty Germany specific, you know? It's also very badly written. It's dumb. It's very obviously dumb. Probably written in a drug haze. Well, I guess he was in prison at the time from the beer hall putsch. Maybe not. Maybe he smuggled in some meth. Who knows, you know? Crazy stuff happened back then. He could have asked for some cough syrup and it just had heroin in it. Who knows? Anyway, like the idea of a Hamas militant just keeping a perfect, like, not even earmark, just a perfectly unmarred, annotated Mein Kampf. It's really funny. Also, for some reason, the Hamas guy was simultaneously leaving notes on Post-its in, by the way, beautiful handwriting, thank you, while also highlighting, like with a highlighter. Like, I'm not saying the Gaza Strip is in the 18th century or anything, but the idea of a Hamas militant, perfectly clean pages, by the way, just like, yes, really, really interested in this passage, you know? Like their electricity is cut out. They're getting bombed nonstop. Their telephone lines have been cut. Like they can barely get food or water. Their fuel deliveries are being destroyed. And it's like, yes, here's my. Yeah, he's bringing this to like Hamas book club. Like one guy brings the Protocols of Elder Zion, and the one guy brings Mein Kampf. One guy brings like, I don't know, like a 18th century phrenology, you know, pamphlet. Not gonna lie, it would have given this claim more credibility if it was a ratty-looking copy that looked to be 50,000 years old and half disintegrated, not freshly printed. Yeah, it's pretty bullshit on every level. The most obviously bullshit thing, or the thing that marks all of this as being complete bullshit, even with all of this, like, incredulous nonsense being piled on top of it, was the fact that he said, Hamas base in a child's bedroom. What? Like, if there was a Hamas base, it would not be a child's bedroom. Hamas bases are underground or facilities. They're not like the implication is that like the base is contained within the child's bedroom. Like there's a compound in the room or something. The only reason he said that is because they're getting criticized for killing so many children indiscriminately. So they're like, well, you may think we're killing children indiscriminately, but did you know that the child's bedrooms we're bombing are also just packed full of pristine annotated copies of Mein Kampf? Like, this is literally like the joke of what an edgy leftist would say to make fun of Israeli propaganda. Like, as a matter of fact, I might have made this joke. Where it's like any day now the IDF is going to hold up a copy of Mein Kampf and be like, yeah, we found this in a child's baby's crib or whatever, like in a baby crib. Yeah, so like whatever. But like, you can't joke about it because it's real. That's not, I might have made that joke, but it's not even a joke. They just did that. It's such a stupid looking front cover too. Like, I don't know if it's like an Arabic culture thing. Like maybe they like their book covers like non-abstract or something. It's reading this on the subway and shaking my head. He looks like an angry toddler. To be fair, he did look like that in real life. Yeah, they found this in the child's skull. He moody. Oh, we all know Hitler was a moody bitch. He lived for drama. Never invite him to your parties. I feel like I should probably tie this back into something a little bit more substantive than just the IDF did a really dumb lie that everyone is making fun of. And everyone is making fun of it, by the way. I don't know. I've talked before about how bad Israel is doing with regard. Okay, here, you know what? Let's turn this around and do a bit of anti-Nazi praxis, okay? How can Nazis simultaneously believe that Jews managed to pull off faking the Holocaust, which is, if they could fake it, that would be the biggest and most impressive sort of social engineering lie ever done in human history by several orders of magnitude. And also, this is how bad the IDF is at lying. Explain that, Nazis. Like these are the people who you're saying masterminded the whole the whole like faking the Holocaust, like all that, all the evidence, all the millions of photos and videos and testimonials and people with documented historical records and all the Nazi officials who admitted it and all the supply lines and the trains and the purchases and all of that was faked. And also, this is how the IDF lies. Please explain this to me. I was led to believe these guys were mastermind liars, and I'm just not buying it right now. Yeah, your enemy is both genius and retarded. Your enemy is both Rick and Morty. Oh my god. It's fake bad propaganda to trick us into think that, oh shit, you're right, it's the turnabout. It's like the IDF is like, oh, they're gonna catch on to us. We have to be really bad at lying for this whole genocide of Palestinians thing, so people don't suspect us of being masterminds. Incredible. We also got a Zionist rabbi saying the Nazis have a spark of humanity to own Hamas. Yeah, I saw this. I love it when people like this say stuff like this, because it really is like an opening into the sort of dark heart of Zionism. I feel basically, like, I don't even want to read this entire thing. I guess you can if you want to, or pause the VOD or something. But like, basically what he's saying is like, yeah, the Nazis were bad, but at least they were humans. Hamas aren't. That literally, like, that's what he's saying. The Nazis, as fundamentally evil as they were, I don't even want to say it out loud because I'll get clipped for saying what he's saying, believed they were engaging in a necessary evil for an ultimate good. They still had a spark of humanity at their core. This is what motivated Nazis to find ways of circumventing the existential mordecai of what they were doing that allowed them to get creative by using gas chambers, mass shootings in the back of the head to avoid direct facial contact and other passive forms of mass annihilations. So you see, so deep down in their hearts, I guess, according to this guy, the Nazis were actually like humanitarian and they had a spark of good and they felt guilty. But you're never going to guess Hamas is the opposite. They're super evil. This is Holocaust revisionism, the same as what Netanyahu did. Netanyahu did this exact same thing. He said that the Holocaust was not Hitler's idea, but that he was convinced to do it by an Arab. This is a flat-out lie. Nobody believes this, including Netanyahu. It was a transparent effort to take the pent-up generational trauma that Jews legitimately feel towards the Nazis and transfer it over towards hatred against Arab people. And this is exactly what this guy's doing too. He's like, hey man, I know you hate Nazis and all, but you know who's double Nazis? Hamas. And by the way, in case you're wondering whether or not this is just some random lunatic who like got ratioed for what he said, nope. 43,000 likes. This actually finds purchase in the Zionist sort of clientele that it's designed for, the audience that it's designed for. This is not some like 7,000 quote tweets thing. This is just like what they believe. In order for them to maintain the fervent genocidal rage they feel against Arab people, they have to say shit like this. And they have to say shit like this. Like, how do you motivate a population of, like, imagine you have no morals. How do you motivate a population of primarily Jews and people ostensibly acting on behalf of the good interest of Jews to engage in a genocide against Arab people? Well, the number one thing you'd come up with would be like, well, make them think that they did the Holocaust. And that's what Netanyahu did. And the number two thing you would think of is say, yeah, the Nazis were bad, but you know who's worse? And they've done that. And like, that's the level they're on right now. Isn't this propaganda aimed more so at the West? Yes. The majority of Israeli propaganda at the moment is aimed towards keeping America on their side. The reason for that is because in Israel, they can just arrest detractors. That's what they're doing. Like in Israel, if there's a person who's trying to fight the war effort, they just arrest them. They've made thousands of arrests since October 7th. But if you're in America, they can't arrest you for disagreeing with them yet. Netanyahu has bragged that anti-BDS laws have made it illegal to protest against or boycott Israeli companies in certain states. Reminds me of when Russia did this at the start of the Ukraine war when they, quote, caught Ukrainian neo-Nazi terrorists and said they have proof of Nazi activity. And everyone was just confused why the FSB was posting pictures of Sims 3 Game of the Year edition. Oh yeah, I remember that. It was like the Russians were like, we have cracked this like Ukrainian neo-Nazi Ukrainian sleeper cell nest, and there were copies of The Sims 3 here. And apparently the reason for this, or like the only reason we think that it happened, was like they were given a list of things to go buy at a department store to lay on a bed so they could pretend they made a bust. So here's a completely fresh, unworn Nazi t-shirt, you know, whatever else. But they were asked to bring SIM cards or something like that. So they were like, what? And they got Sims games. Like, this was like... Observers believe the agents planting evidence somehow confused 3 mobile phone SIM cards for the video game The Sims 3. If you're wondering how like anyone operating on behalf of the Russian government could be that stupid, here is the IDF trying to convince you that they found this in the back pocket of a Hamas terrorist that was operating out of a base in a specifically child's bedroom. Same shit, different country. What were they supposed to buy instead of the SIM cards? Well, SIM cards was what they were supposed to get, like what you put in a phone, rather than The Sims 3. TBH, The Sims 3 is a war crime. True, the only good Sims games were 1 and 2. They had a lot of good stuff in 1, and then in 2 they added a bunch, and then since then they've been removing content. Like Sims 1 to Sims 2 added content. Sims 2 to 3 and 4 removed content. I guess you can buy it back if you want to spend more money. 1 is perfect. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with 1 when I was younger. Isn't less content good sometimes? In the case of a Sims game, I don't think so, no. Sims games are pretty shallow, right? I mean, they're basically, like, the only real fun in a Sims game is, like, ultra customizing your house. It's not like streamlining things. Like, streamlining doesn't really serve the purpose of those games, I feel. The music from 1 is great. Dude, I still have the music from Sims 1 play in my head when I'm having, like, a 5 IQ brain fart sometimes. The... You know what I'm referring to, right? This is what was going on in the minds of the Israeli propaganda ministers. Can I find that music?
Adolf Hitler's book, translated to Arabic, Mein Kampf. It's the book that led to the Holocaust and the book that led to World War II. This is the book that led to his victory in elections in Germany, which led to the...
IDF propaganda minister cooking up this scheme. All right. Sorry.